Joyce Carol Oates It's a Fairytale Nightmare to be Rejected. Joyce Carol Oates, The Guardian. We use cookies to improve your experience on our site and to show you personalized advertising. To find out more, read our end. You write in the acknowledgements that My Life as a Rat appeared in its earliest form as a short story titled Curly Red in Harper's Magazine in 2003, reprinted in the anthology I Am No One You Know in 2004. Why did you decide? Many of your novels explore family conflict. This new one probes the tension between family loyalty and independence. It does seem that the classic family unit is predominant in our lives, and that it is difficult, particularly for a young person, and perhaps for a girl, to break free of the spell of familial love, which can be possessive and stultifying, as well as nourishing and enlivening. I have dedicated in the novel, Violet speaks out about a crime, the racially motivated assault of a high school student. You have previously, did you want to show the importance of speaking out against injustice despite the consequences? I thought that was you have written an essay entitled Why Is Your Writing So Violent? About being asked that question reproachfully. Probably this issue is not so relevant now, but there seemed to be a general consensus, even among writers, that female writers should focus upon domestic life, family life, childbirth, raising children, marriages, romance. I can't tell you how many reviewers, among them women, chided me repeatedly for daring to write about quite different subjects. One reviewer: you have described the daily scramble for existence of your working class upbringing. Did you draw on it as Violet is violated in different ways, including physical and sexual abuse, but ultimately survives and even in some ways thrives? Did you purposefully? What helps to keep you alive? Keeping oneself alive after the loss of a spouse is an enormous challenge. Certainly, meaning you're an astute reader as well as writer. Which books are on? What kind of reader were you as a child? A very grateful reader. My first. How do you organize your books? Not very systematically, I am afraid. In the beginning, Oh My Life as a Rat by Joyce Carol Oates is published by Fourth Estate, pound 16.99. To order a copy.
Raindrop, drop top, top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park, pot.